Hello and welcome to Coach Rev at the Crossroads. I'm so glad you took a minute to watch this video. I want to welcome you and I want to let you know that my passion is to support all of you in any ways that I can. And so I've created a session within a fabulous tool that I want to introduce to you. The session is made just for you folks, you who give so much of yourselves to others. So let me introduce you, I think. I'm sorry, technology. All right, here we go. I'm Lee Atherton. I'm founder of Coach Rev at the Crossroads. I'm an end-of-life grief and resilience coach. Here in the picture with me is my canine Shadow. He is trained and certified as a PTSD service dog. And during the times when I'm not in as much need as when I first got him, he and I wear the hat as a canine, a crisis response canine team. We were honored to be part of the response that went to Surfside, the condo collapse in Miami over the summer. He is here in the picture with me because he's with me all the time, and he's a big part of the support that I offer to all of you and to my clients. I hope that someday soon we get to meet in person. But in the meantime, you are not in all of this work that you do alone. There is a huge team of people who have your six, who are there whenever you need us. Something that I think doesn't necessarily come easy in the work that we do. For me, it's not entirely what you're in the midst of all the time, although I have a slight window into that when I debrief and diffuse as part of our CISM team. But I do work with a lot of people who are dying and who are grieving, and that includes even the tragic deaths, the suicides, the car accidents and such. So I've got a little window into some of the stress and trauma that you experience. People say we should be positive, not just in the work that we do, but in life in general. Positivity, happiness, gratitude, they're not emotions that come easy, even in the best of times. Our brains just aren't wired that way. These primitive brains of ours that still exist were made initially to keep us on high alert for things like the tiger is hiding in the bushes, going to come out and eat us. I often compare a lot of the work that we do as riding class 5 whitewaters. Have you ever done that? Gone rafting? Those violent rapids with sheer drops, outrageous waves. You don't know what's around each bend. You got to duck real fast to avoid the sudden overhanging branch, or paddle with every ounce of your energy and your strength that you can muster. And you know, the thing that saves those professionals who are guiding us in those most difficult and at times most frightening parts of the ride is their mindset. The rafter who is positive that she will survive will, because her confidence keeps her focused on being calm and in control. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it can be done. The work that you do is so stressful, to say the least. And that stress continues to wreak havoc on your bodies by sucking your energy, screwing with your sleep, killing your immune system, and a whole lot more. Technology and I are not getting along today. I am sorry. These 3 first responders are some of the amazing folks I met when I was in Miami. I hope someday they have an opportunity to see this session. I want to help all of you build your resilience muscles. Some of you have attended my Resilient Leaders Mastery Workshop, and I hope some of you others will join me in future offerings. This tool is just a piece of what I'm sharing with you, a piece of what I offer to my tribe of amazing folks out there. And it's a lot more than just the one session I've created for you. And you'll have an opportunity to see some more of that as we go along. Those of you who are familiar with positive psychology know this guy. There we go. I'm sure you do. I originally had this slide in my presentation to people who are grieving. And that question, you want me to be positive? Someone I love just died, or, I lost my house to a fire. But I thought I'd leave it for you too. How many of your work experiences would you look back on with positivity? Positivity for the situation, for the victims, for all sorts of things, right? There are some, I'm sure, but really an awful lot of them have left you with frustration, with anger, sadness, grief, even fear. A lot of less than positive thoughts and emotions. There are two fields of science and research that I want to touch on real quickly today. They are positive psychology and neuroscience. Both of these have shown us that overcoming the tragedy and the trauma that you face all the time, and actually reconnecting with that passion and drive that brought you to this work in the first place is truly possible. The guy in this picture is Martin Seligman. He is a pioneer in this field of positivity. And he says, in answer to what makes life worth living, he says, there's a unique answer for each of us, but all of these answers collectively are part of scientific study called positive psychology. He goes on in another place to say, there is an opportunity for a much brighter future for everyone. It is possible. A focus on positivity opens the door to abundant possibilities. And that's part of what helps us to be resilient and thrive in the midst of the chaos that we face. Neuro what? Yes, neuroscience and neuroplasticity. Scientists have also discovered that our brains have this amazing ability to change and adapt. We can learn to see the world in new and positive ways. We can retrain our brains. This is the neuroplasticity part, to spot patterns so that we can see and seize possibilities wherever we look. I'm sorry. So what happens when you see somebody yawn, like I just did? Did you yawn too? Back to brain science for just a sec. We all have these things called mirror neurons. They're brain cells that respond the very same way to things, whether we're doing them or we're watching someone else do an action. That's why you yawned. And that's why when you're in a room of upbeat, positive people, oh goodness, excuse me, you feel better. Or if you're hanging around someone who's a chronic complainer, always negative and pessimistic, it feels like that energy is just being drained out of you. These neurons, these mirror neurons, they tell your brain exactly how you're feeling. It's pretty amazing, I think. Science, might tell us that we need positivity, but how do we get there? Especially now in the midst of this crazy corona world, where even your world that has so much high stress, high tension, intense focus. All of that's been turned upside down more than any of us could ever have thought it would be in the midst of all this crap out there. I'm sure there are days that you find it hard to find something just to smile about, let alone fill your whole day with positive perspectives. There is something that can help you get there. Sean Aker says that gratitude and happiness are two of the key ingredients to having a positive attitude in life. He wrote this book called The Happiness Advantage that inspired one of the most popular TED Talks of all time. He tells us how rewiring our brain for happiness leads to more productive, creative, and significantly healthier and less stressed people. Who doesn't want that, right? And research shows us that focusing on gratitude in your life can also help bring about higher levels of positivity and all that stress reduction emotion. The simple act, believe it or not, of writing down just 3 things every day that you're grateful for can make a huge impact. And yeah, there are going to be days when those things you write down are just, oh my God, I guess I'm glad I at least woke up today, took a breath, or, the sun rose this morning. Because there are days that are so difficult that that's all you can find that you're grateful for. But the more you do it, as you do it day in and day out, only takes a minute, you begin to see things that you wouldn't have noticed before. It's really kind of awesome. When you do these things, your sleep quality improves, your emotional regulation improves, your feelings of happiness and positive are moods that start to take over. You begin to foster a hope in the future. You reduce stress, and therefore you're really reducing the likelihood that you are going to reach burnout or, God forbid, have a heart attack on the job, right? And the benefits of doing this, they last for a while. So, what if you had a resource that could help you focus on positivity, envision a good day, accomplish every day's tasks, enhance your well-being, empower you to be more resilient, spark a sense of calm, peace, and joy in your day, help your healing happen more quickly, and even feel more gratitude? I've got one for you. And if you might have taken a minute to glance through these statistics, I always stumble over that word, but I do. I have a powerful new tool for helping you face each day with that passion and drive that brought you to the job in the first place. Remember when you first were training and you were like, yes, I know this is what I'm called to do. I know that if I'm going to ask any of you to try something new in the midst of your already overwhelming and stressful days, it's got to be easy and it's got to be quick. So this is a tool that I've been using for little over a year, and I have found profound results from it. It's called Positive Prime, and it's just that. It's everything that I mentioned in the previous slide and what all those statistics are about. Combining cutting-edge technology with the most compelling findings in neuroscience and positive psychology, Positive Prime offers the solution to the challenge of all of our personal and professional well-being. It's a transformational tool that's designed for people in any stage of life. I have a colleague in the Positive Prime world who is using this tool in her classroom. She teaches, I don't remember if it was 2nd or 3rd grade, and I'm sure all of you can imagine what that world is like these days. Kids were out of control. She has introduced Positive Prime and she starts every day with it, and she has seen an incredible difference. You will create a powerful shift in your thinking without any effort at all, because Positive Prime does all the work for you. So I'm going to pause for just a sec And I am going to invite you, if you're ready to pause, you've had enough of listening to me, or you need to run off and do something else, check out a positive prime session by going to this URL, coachrev.com/pp-preview. That'll bring you to a page with some more information, but more importantly, the session that I'm going to go on talking about. When you watch that session, know that you can watch it slowly and really soak in all the images, or you can watch it pretty quickly, as fast as 3 minutes. And when you watch that 3 minutes every day, those results will last 6 to 8 hours every day, and they'll build on each other, and you'll find that your life is changing. But if you want to learn more about positive prime and why this is effective in only 3 minutes, keep on watching. Or are you familiar with Calm or Headspace? Positive prime is similar, but positive prime also has a significant amount of scientific research behind it, proving what can happen in just those 3 minutes. So during this optimal experience, you feel strong, alert, in effortless control, unself-conscious, and at the peak of your abilities. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi is a psychologist who's noted for his work in the study of happiness and creativity. There go these slides again. My apologies. He's best known as the architect of the notion of flow, a highly focused state of consciousness that's really conducive to productivity and genuine satisfaction. During this optimal experience, as he calls it, people feel strong, alert, I mentioned, in control, and really at the peak of your abilities. Positive prime has a unique way of creating this state of flow. We are literally taking a new approach to professional and personal well-being. Now, if that doesn't get you excited, who doesn't need a quick, easy tool, 3 minutes to get in that really focused flow? I'm sure you've been there before, when time just flies by in an instant because you are so focused on what you're doing. Hours go by without you noticing it. So let's have a look. I'm going to show you a session, and I want you to watch it carefully. You might recognize some of the pictures. Who knows? All right, so here's the session. It's called Chaos Transformed into a Shining Star. That is from my favorite quote by philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. It's only when there's chaos within that you can give birth to a shining star. And so I always imagine that this chaos that you and I face on a nearly everyday basis does have the potential to be something bright and shining and absolutely amazing. So you'll see that there's play session and personalize. I am only going to play the session right now, give you a chance to experience a little bit, and then I'll explain some more about the personalization afterwards. So just sit back and watch. I'm going to play it at a couple different speeds so you get the sense of it. And of course, it's not going to show up in the right place. Skip that. So that is a session. So what were you just watching, right? Pretty crazy stuff. The first time I watched it on that fast speed, I was like, no, stop. I don't know what I'm seeing. But remember I told you about Mihaly and that state of flow? So every moment of every day, we are bombarded with sights, visions, things we're hearing, seeing, feeling, experiencing, so much that there's no way we can possibly keep up with it. So our brains filter that all. When we're in that space of flow, though, it allows all of that to come into us and bypass that filter that filters out all the unnecessary stuff. So when they're going by at that fast pace, we really are able to take that information in on an other than conscious level. I call it a vision board on steroids, right? Have you ever created a vision board or stopped and thought about what do you want the future to look like? Not only is it fast, I've mentioned the effects last quite a while. It's proven that the results of watching a positive prime session last 6 to 8 hours. So you can watch it once in the morning and, halfway through your shift or at the end of the shift, watch it again. It's as those positive images come through and those positive statements, they're training your brain to think in a new and different way. That neuroplasticity, right? We can train our brains to have a different focus. It's also kind of like a visual meditation brought to life. It's got a built-in gratitude journal. So if you watch this 3 minutes every day, you've done a lot of gratituding. I make up words already. And I think that one of the most important pieces, and I've said it several times, but I want to reiterate it, is that there is a lot of scientific research and behind it, and it's based on that research. So what are you seeing when you watch a positive prime session? There's so much to tell you, I don't even know where to start. So up here, you see an image of a woman smiling, right? She's got a particular smile on her face called a Duchenne smile. It's that one, that you see sometimes that reaches your eyes and makes the corners of your eyes crinkle up with crow's feet. It's the smile that most of us recognize as being the most genuine, most authentic expression of happiness. And remember those mirror neurons we talked about earlier? When I yawned, the same thing happens when you see those smiles. When your brain thinks that it's smiling, you see the image, your brain thinks it's you, it affects your entire physiology. In the midst of the images, you're going to see your name, because it's proven that when your name sits next to a positive image, here we go again, right? Or a positive quote, your brain is more easily going to integrate the two and make that positivity align with who you are as a unique individual. There are a lot of bright colors, round shapes that are proven to make us feel more happy and more joyful. There's a lot of green foliage. There was a study done once of people laying in their hospital bed, comparing those who were next to the window and had a view of nature, especially nature that included trees with the green leaves and such, that those who were in that window bed actually had a speedier recovery. And then they went on to further study it by putting, I don't know what you call it, you put a screen over your window, right? that was an image of nature, and they saw that it even works with just the image of nature, which is incredibly fascinating to me. You'll see images of social activity, and those support and strengthen your recognition and appreciation for human connection. And then at the beginning, before I pressed play, there was that option to personalize, right? This is another added feature, which is just so cool. I'm on fire about this Positive Prime. Can you tell? You can personalize your session. So I've done that. Let me bring up these guys. Let's see. Yeah, these guys here. Yeah, each time you watch the slides, the images are going to be shuffled. And so that helps keep our brain and the whole process fresh for us. You can watch the same session over and over and still get better results. You can personalize the session. And so in the session that you're watching are these images, but in the other sessions that I watch on Positive Prime, I've included them. This is my grandson. Every time I see that image, I just get goosebumps. I love this little guy. This is a friend of mine's view from her beach house, lake house rather. Here's Shadow. Shadow is my guy, right? Here is one of the most adventurous things I've ever done, and that is to go parachute jumping, and oh my God. And I told you about stars and how important they are to me. You can upload as many of your favorite images as you want. The people you love, the places that you enjoy being, any image at all, you can upload, and I can help you do that too. There are over 135 now sessions to choose from, and more are being added all the time. On things like resilience, there's a whole nother session on resilience, business success, learning, family and relationships, you name it. You can be the star of your own customized affirmation video, right? You put, like these two are affirmations, as are these. It's pretty easy, especially if you know how to use Canva. And if you don't, again, it's something I can help you with, to create your own slides, just like these. Here are just a few of some of the sessions. I invite you to check out Positive Prime. There's another link there. There's also ones on that other link I showed you on my website. So check it out. Be in touch with me. The session that I introduced you to and that you find on my website is curated just for you folks, for my first responder peeps, my funeral directors and hospice people, all of you professionals who encounter dying and death regularly in your work. In addition, and that session is one you will always have access to. In addition to that, my gift for you today is a, that should say, oh, I don't have it on there, is a 10-day free trial of Positive Prime, where you can explore all those other sessions, where you can look at, right now, there are almost 200 of these coaching pearls, we call them. And eventually there will be at least 365 of them. And they're just an added bonus, where when you are a subscriber to Positive Prime, you can watch one of these every day. Think of any coaches that you know, the best and the brightest of them out there in the world. You need to get Hayden Duggan to do one, and maybe even Tom, but Tom Greenhall. In 3 minutes, you get really great pearls of wisdom from some of the greatest coaches out there. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. Please reach out to me at any time. Here's my contact info. All my best to you. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do day in and day out. Wishing you nothing but the best. Be well, my friends. Bye for now.